Well, what is happening, Bond fans? Welcome back to the channel. I am D-WIZZLE. Welcome to another edition of my podcast. And today we are getting into the James Bond 007 franchise. We are talking about every James Bond film, all 24 leading up to the 25th James Bond film, No Time to Die, which for sure is coming out in October. We've already talked about all the previous James Bond films, all the Sean Connery, the George Lazenby one, all the Roger Moore films, and we recently talked about the first Timothy Dalton film, The Living Daylights. If you haven't seen any of those reviews, I'll leave a link in the description below to a playlist on my channel called James Bond 007. If you haven't seen any of them, check them out. They're all there. But today we are getting into the second Timothy Dalton film, License to Kill, the 16th James Bond film that came out in 1989. And joining with me today, I have Evan.
Yep, back for more Bond.
Yeah, let's do it. So, I saw this way back like when I was 12 or 13, I think.
Wow, that's too young to watch this movie.
It sure is. My dad did not give a shit. He had the DVD collection set. It wasn't. That's the weird thing with the special editions that he had. They put like the Bond movies out of order. Like they want to make it's like a compilation. So License to Kill was one of them. So what was in there was Goldfinger, Man with the Golden Gun, License to Kill, The World Is Not Enough, and I think that's it.
Oh yeah, I think that's the Ultimate Edition DVD sets. That's what I have.
Actually, no, I think mine's a little bit older than yours, because it's not like the silver and gold one. It's like the colorful ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I saw these movies out of order, as you may already know. But so this is the first Timothy Dalton film I saw, and I'll admit, the first time I watched this movie, I didn't like it. Probably because I was used to the more lighthearted nature of the older Bond films, and Pierce Brosnan, because Pierce Brosnan was the first Bond I watched. Because I know at the time of this movie coming out, it went through a lot of controversy because this was the darkest Bond film, though, at that time. It was really different from the Bond movies that we're used to, especially coming off of the Roger Moore films, which are very campy and lighthearted. Living Daylights was a step in in the darker direction, but not completely. It still had, a similar tone to what you're used to with Bond. But License to Kill, it got dark, it got violent, it got gritty, and yeah, it was not very favorable at the time. And also keep in mind that the year it came out, 1989. What else came out in 1989? Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and the 1989 Batman film. So it was going against some steep competition, and this ended up getting lost in the shuffle, sadly. So yeah, I feel like this movie is ahead of its time. Watching it recently, I really, really like this movie. It is so good, man. Getting the whole spectrum of all the actors that played Bond and seeing all the different tones that we have. And I started to get more of an appreciation of the serious tone of Bond. And yeah, going back and watching this, I really like how dark it got. I liked how serious it got. I thought the villain was really menacing. I thought the plot was easier to follow. I liked the Bond girl, and at the time, because we've seen so many times that Bond gets excommunicated from MI6 many times, but this is the one that started it, and I just thought it was really refreshing. It's a breath of fresh air. There are a couple of moments. The movie's not perfect. There's a couple of moments in this movie that I felt could have been better, plot wise. And even though I like the serious, darker tone, I feel like there still is some minor tone issues here and there. like because they still trying to put in the goofiness in this movie sometimes, but for the most part, I had a blast with this movie. I think this movie is very underrated. It's ahead of its time because now people are praising Daniel Craig for being so serious and dark. This is what started it. So I really liked it. What did you think about License to Kill?
I pretty much agree with everything that you just said. I think up until this point in the series, this is the best Bond movie.
I think so.
Yeah, I
Even though actually I love The Spy Who Loved Me, but
yeah.
there are things in this movie I think it does better than The Spy Who Loved Me. But yeah, definitely.
Out of like the 16 that we've covered so far, this is my favorite one. It is just really good. I really love the darker tone and that it was really serious most of the time. Great villain. Story, like you said, it's much easier to follow, so I was more invested in what was going on. And the action sequences were great. And the Bond girl was really good too. So all around, it was a really solid Bond movie.
Oh yeah. So let's start with the gun barrel, pre-title sequence, and the title sequence. So off the gate, this movie feels different because the start with the gun barrel, it has this more intense music playing, and I'm like, oh, off the gate, it's already telling you this is gonna be a different Bond film. But yeah, I like the new music they had with Dalton's gun barrel. So the movie starts with the wedding because Felix Leiter is about to get married, and Bond and this other character, Sharky, is escorting him to the church to get married. But then out of nowhere, I forget whatever agency it was, whatever agency that Felix works for.
It's CIA.
CIA, I think CIA. They stop him in the middle of the road because they're driving and tells them that the main villain of the movie, Franz Sanchez, is on the run, and so they want him to capture him, and so they have to put their wedding on hold and go after Sanchez. And then off the gate, they're establishing how menacing Sanchez is in this movie. We cut to a random house where his girlfriend, Loopy, that's her name, Loopy, is sleeping with this guy, so she's cheating on him. And then Sanchez breaks in, and then he's intimidating Lupe, being like, did he promise you his heart? Okay, we'll give it to you. And he orders his men to cut out that guy's heart, and then he puts Lupe on his lap, and then whips her back. And I'm just like, holy shit. Oh god, it's already dark. But so then they escape on a plane, and then it leads to this crazy plane sequence where I can see where The Dark Knight Rises got its inspiration. So the plane that Bond and Felix is on, they somehow take a cable and capture the Sanchez's plane in midair with the cable, very very much like The Dark Knight Rises, just hanging off of the cable that Bond and Felix has. Like that was freaking insane. And then they capture Sanchez, and I'm like, oh, that's quick. They just end the movie there, but no, there's a lot more that happens after that. So after they capture Sanchez, I think they parachute down to the church, and then Felix's fiance is waiting for them, and then that's when they get married, and then they get into the main title sequence. I'm gonna say up front, this is my favorite Bond theme. Gladys Knight, License to Kill. This is personally my favorite Bond theme. Am I saying it's the best one? Not necessarily. That's debatable. But as far as Bond themes that I listen to the most, this is the one I listen to the most. First of all, I'm already a Gladys Knight fan, so this is probably a little bit of a bias for me. But like, me personally, I think this is the ultimate Bond theme. I think it works for any of the movies. If you use this theme on any of the Bond films, I think it would fit perfectly. It has the right amount of epicness, Glass's voice, the instrumentals. Like, it has that good balance of slickness and epicness and sexiness and grandness. Like, I don't know, it just all around, that theme just worked for me. And it there's certain like instrumental points that it homages other themes like Goldfinger, because there's certain like cues in there that sounded very similar to Goldfinger and stuff like that. So I love this theme so much. And then the title sequence is also pretty good with the women, with projections with the women, and there's like a casino type thing, casino theme. I'm sorry, overall with the title sequence. So I thought it was a pretty good sequence, and there's some really cool shots with the women, like really epic shots, like I kind of didn't expect in that title sequence, but I liked it. And then also there's some projections with the chick holding a camera and stuff like that, and like the spotlighted 007 logo would be passing through. So I thought all that was really cool. What did you think about the theme title sequence, pre-title sequence?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought this was a solid one.
That's it. As far as the theme, what did you think about it?
I would have to listen to it again, but I remember.
I don't know how you forget.
I don't know. It's been a while, but I think I remember. Yeah, thinking it was a solid theme.
Okay, I don't know what your favorite is. I don't know if we've gotten to it yet.
No, we haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay.
Well, there were a couple ones that I really liked, like "Live and Let Die." That's probably one of my favorite ones.
Of course, that's great.
But then, yeah, some of the later ones I also really like. Are probably my favorites. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, so this whole movie, instead of getting into like this convoluted plot with Cold War and Soviet Unions, they made it simple but engaging to follow. This is a revenge story. So after they capture Sanchez, they get one of the agents to betray the CIA and escape and help Sanchez escape from an armored truck, and then they made him fall into the ocean, and then they escape from there. So I'm like, already, like, I'm gonna keep reiterating this, that Sanchez is like real dangerous in this movie. Just when you think that you get one step ahead of him, he thinks of something else to get over on you. And it's like this happens a lot in the movie, and that just shows how crazy he is as a villain. And we haven't even gotten to his other kills yet. But so he escapes, and then he's seeking revenge against Felix. So he goes, oh my gosh, he goes, invades Felix's house, and then they rape and murder his wife. They rape and murder his wife, and then they capture Felix, and then they drop Felix into like this, I don't know, this pool with a shark, and the shark eats Felix's leg. Yeah. Oh my god, like.
Fucking brutal.
Hardcore, man. This movie's hardcore. And so that's what gets the plot going, is that Sanchez capturing Felix and Bond going after Sanchez for revenge, and then that leads to Bond doing stuff against the MI6 with trying to hunt down Sanchez, and of course the MI6 finds out and M finds out, and then that's why it's called License to Kill, because they revoke his license to kill after he does underhanded tactics to go after Sanchez and stuff like that. I will say, it's a nitpick. I wish there was a little bit more to it, because they just meet at a random building, whatever, and M just says, okay, you're done, license to kill, it's over, and then Bond escapes after that. I wish it was a little bit more built up with that. And I wish there was like a little bit more explanation of why he got his license to kill revoked because of that. Because Sanchez escaped and took out or captured one of the CIA agents. So I kind of didn't understand exactly why that was enough to be like, okay, your license to kill is being revoked. I would do just a little bit more build up to that. Maybe if he did, like, I don't know, I don't know. I wish there was just a little bit more build up to that. But anyway, I thought it was cool because that also raises the stakes, because they can't rely on MI6 to help him, and he has to figure out undergrounded tactics to go after Sanchez. So it raises the stakes either way. We didn't talk about Sanchez's right-hand man, Dario, played by a really young Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, that was crazy seeing him in this movie.
I know. He looks so young.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize him at first. But yeah, I thought he was pretty good. He's not really like the muscle, because like there are times where he does get his ass kicked a little bit.
Yeah.
But his overall presence I liked. He had charisma. It's like I don't know. It's kind of like he gives off this unsettling demeanor to him. Kind of similar to how I felt about Grace Jones in A View to a Kill, except if Grace Jones couldn't fight. But yeah, I thought he was pretty solid.
Like he was just this insane guy that, what's his name? Who's the villain?
Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez just lets him off his leash. He'll go fucking crazy.
Yeah,
he's insane.
That's what I liked about it, for sure. And then there's this other like drug lord, Milton Crest, played by Anthony Zerbe. The last thing I saw him in was the Matrix sequels. I think that's the only. I don't forget the other movies I saw him in.
Who was he in the Matrix sequels?
He was one of the council people of Zion, and he was talking with Neo and Zion in the middle of the night after the rave.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
I just remember him from that, and like that's it. But I thought he was pretty good. He's the one that helped Sanchez with the whole drug scheme, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to take cocaine and mix it with gasoline so they can hide it and put it in these giant trucks so they can transport it to a different country without being noticed or getting found out by the law and stuff like that. Which I'm like, okay, so I don't do drugs. I don't know how the science works, but that's pretty clever. How to smuggle drugs to different parts of the country. And it's like, that's easy to follow, that's simple, that's kind of creative, and it's like I'm able to follow that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. To talk about Sanchez's girlfriend Lupe, that's the one thing I didn't really care for, or the one person I didn't really care for is Lupe. She didn't really do much for me, and I felt like her acting wasn't that great. There was a couple of moments where I felt she was a bit flat. And
wouldn't be the first time.
No. It's strange because the main Bond girl Pam is so good, and so it's just like when we have to like, there's like the love triangle going on between Bond, Pam, and Lupe. I'm just like, I don't care about this Lupe. Like, this chick is not interesting.
She's cute though.
She is cute. She's really attractive.
Yeah, because she was Katana in the old Mortal Kombat movies.
Oh yeah. Shit. Wow. Wow. Okay. That's not the only Mortal Kombat character that makes an appearance in this movie. We'll get to him later. Yeah, we'll get to him later. But yeah, I just didn't really care about Lupe. But yeah, the main Bond girl of this movie, Pam Bouvier, played by Carrie Lowell. She was great. I thought she was great. Once again, an agent that feels like Bond's equal. Like she doesn't take shit from anybody. She's able to hold her own. She's badass. She's really attractive. Yeah, and I like the dynamic that she has with Bond. Other than the misunderstanding love triangle BS, I didn't care about that. But like when they're on the mission together and like they're working off of each other, I thought she was really good. I liked her introduction when Bond meets her at a bar and they have the whole bar fight with Dario, who shows up as well. I like how they were working together to fight people at a bar and fighting Dario. And I'm so glad she cut her hair later on in the movie, because I was not digging the hair that she was having in the beginning of the movie. But yeah, the short hair, really nice. I like it a lot. Um, there's one thing that I was like, okay, that's a little forced. Very similar to how I felt about Mariam in Living Daylights. They rushed the romance, and this felt even more jarring because they just got through with the fight, and they're trying to escape from Dario and them on a boat, and they're arguing too. It's like Bond is questioning her tactics or whatever, and she's all like, "Hey, listen, pal, I used to be an army pilot. I sailed through the most dangerous parts of the world, so don't talk to me about professionalism," whatever. And then it just leads to them kissing. Like, really, that's it. It leads to them just kissing out of nowhere, and that whole thing of, well, why didn't you ask first? So why don't you ask me? And then they kiss. I'm like, that was out of nowhere. Okay. We don't have to do that, man. I know Bond is the womanizer. He gets all the chicks. He has sex all the time. He probably has an STD by now. But, like, do you really need to have them kiss this early? Like, you could have waited till the end of the movie, and that would have been just fine. Let the romance build a little bit.
He likes the girls that are spunky.
Spunky, wimpy, dummies, like
whatever he's feeling.
Whatever he's feeling in the moment.
Likes
like
to mix it up.
Yeah, like I didn't understand it. And I think she was the one that initiated it, though. I don't think it was Bond. So that's what made it even more weird. Cause like, okay, we're used to Bond going in for the first going in doing the first move, but like, she
wants the D.
But you just fought with her. I just don't understand that.
I don't know.
Whatever. But someone who I didn't expect to be in this movie is Q. And surprisingly enough, I think this is the biggest role Q had till the Daniel Craig movies, because he's more involved in the Craig movies. But like, this is the most involved that Q has been in the Bond film up to this point. You would think that would take away from, Bond practically being a rogue agent in the movie, with Q being there, but I actually liked him being in the movie, and I like that they gave him a lot of screen time, and I like the dynamic that he has with Bond. Like, they're able to create a Bond in the movie. No pun intended. But yeah, I like that, Q went out of his way to help him, because he actually cares about him to a certain extent. So really appreciated that. Yeah, the whole dynamic between Q, Bond, and Pam I thought were really good. The gadgets that Q gives Bond, there's an exploding alarm clock, and there's exploding toothpaste, and there's a palm reading gun that looks like a camera, and he also had another camera that shoots a laser out of its lens that Pam accidentally uses against the wall. That was kind of funny. But yeah, the gadgets were pretty cool this time around. Yeah, the action sequences, as we said, were really good. As I said, the plane sequence was really good. There's actually another underwater battle. It rivals the underwater battle in Thunderball, in my opinion. It might be a little bit better, because I think it was... the camera angles were better in this one.
Yeah, definitely. Thunderball made me fall asleep.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah, the underwater sequence was good. All the stunts in this movie were done really well. Adding on top of the cool stunts they did in Living Daylights, just adding more of Dalton doing his own stunts in the movie. There's actual explosions. There's actual practical effects. I really appreciate that, because you don't see a lot of that nowadays with people actually doing their stunts. So it added to the intensity and the grit of the film, so I like that a lot. And then also there was another subplot with another drug lord, Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa. I hope I said his name right. He was Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat 1995.
Yes.
Yeah, that plot came out of nowhere, because then there was ninjas in the movie. Literally, when Bond is trying to assassinate Sanchez, a ninja comes in and stops him for some reason, and it's like, okay. And apparently, Carrie's character name is Quang. Apparently he's trying to stop Sanchez as well, so it's like there was no point of you stopping Bond trying to do the exact same thing you're trying to do. And then it goes nowhere because he ends up dying like literally a couple scenes after that because Sanchez somehow got ties with in military whatever, and they send in an army and a tank after Quang's men, and Bond just so happens to be there. So I was like, wow, that's nuts, man. Sanchez is hardcore, bruh. I love it. It's awesome. Then there's this whole thing where Bond is trying to infiltrate Sanchez's drug operation, so he's pretending to be someone else. I really felt the tension of that, especially when they first met, and like Sanchez doesn't know who he is. There was this one scene where they're talking in Sanchez's office, and he's inspecting Bond's gun, and he's like, "Oh, packing heat, Bond." He's like, "Well, you gotta get ready for the unexpected." And he's like, "Oh, and what would that be?" I help people with their problems. And Sanchez is like, "Oh, you're a problem solver, huh?" And Bond's like, "More like a problem eliminator." It's like, ooh. Oh, Dalton's so good. But yeah, so Sanchez has this whole thing of he doesn't like betrayal in his whole drug operation. So for people that or people in general, it doesn't have to be the drug operation. If people betray him, he takes that really personal. So Bond, while he's pretending to be someone else, he actually tricks Sanchez to killing some of his men and making him think that they betrayed him. With Milton, he somehow framed Milton with drug money that he found when he's trying to infiltrate Sanchez's operation. He found some drug money and he hid it in Cress's ship. And then Sanchez comes in and finds the stash in his boat, and then he's thinking, "Oh, you're trying to steal money from me, huh?" And Cress is like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." But of course Sanchez doesn't believe him. And so what does he do? He takes Cress, he puts him into this, I don't know, this little room, I guess. Well, it's not really like a room. It's just like this little, I don't know what it is. Just this.
You're talking about the diving tank?
I think that's what it is. The diving tank, whatever. I don't know.
When they do when he does the
compression.
Yes.
Diving tank. Okay, yeah. So they increase the compression in there while he's in it, and then they make him blow up like a balloon and it explodes.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Like, I think that's one of the darkest moments I've seen in Bond. Like,
yeah,
that's like nuts. And we just got a shark biting someone's leg off, and then Sanchez's men raping and killing a girl. I'm just like, oh god, and whipping people. And
didn't Felix die?
No, he just got his leg bitten off.
Oh,
yeah, because he was at the end of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought that was a little bit convenient, because how do you survive a shark attack? If, just your leg gone.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if he had just killed him.
Right, though they wouldn't. Wait, actually, is this the last time we see Felix before Daniel Craig?
Yes, so it's separate continuity anyway. So
okay, so yeah, they could have killed him off.
Yeah, I think that would have made it like a little more, like the motivation for Bond a little more, even stronger.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, then it leads to this whole battle at the cocaine factory. Which that's how they're going to smuggle the cocaine mixed with gasoline in the trucks, and then it leads to this crazy, insane truck chase in the mountains, where the truck literally does a wheelie, like it's like driving with on one side or whatever, and it's shooting missiles and stuff, and just like it's crazy. Or I think it was a bazooka.
That was nuts.
That was crazy. There was this one silly moment where Bond is driving one of the trucks and Lily makes the truck do a full wheelie or whatever. I'm like, okay, a truck doesn't do that, but it's fine. But it's like Bond is like on the holding on to the top of the truck or whatever, and it's like fighting people on the trucks. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark level insanity, bro. It's crazy. and then he ends up blowing up the all the trucks with the cocaine in them, so it stops Sanchez's operation, and then it leads to this fight between Sanchez and Bond, and and Sanchez pulls out a machete, and I'm just like, yeah, this is some gritty shit. I love it. And then what does he do? I think it was a lighter that Felix gave Bond at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
He uses that to set Sanchez on fire and then blows him up. Like, one of the coolest moments in Bond, in my opinion. That was great. I loved
That
it.
was badass.
That was awesome. And then the movie ends pretty much on a nice note. I felt like they wrapped things up a little too quickly though, because not only is Felix alive and well, but also while Felix is talking to Bond on the phone, he's like, "Oh, MI6 reinstated you." Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't want you to do all that.
Yeah, but you got Sanchez anyway, so we'll reinstate you. See, that's another thing. It just felt so convenient with that. Like, I wish they didn't just wrap things up so quickly. And then, okay, once again with the love triangle stuff, Lupe is trying to flirt with Bond at the end, and she kisses him. Once again, he doesn't initiate it. She kisses him, and then Pam sees it, and then she's angry, and so she walks away, and then Bond chases after her. It was kind of cute, I'll admit it, because Bond, like, they're at this party or whatever, and there's a pool there, and Bond jumps into the pool to go after her or whatever. Them sharing a kiss, and then that's the whole line of, why didn't you could have asked me first, why didn't you ask me? And then they kiss, and then it ends with the weird shot with the statue with the fish and it blinks.
That's weird.
That's kind of weird. I don't know why I did like that, but I like the Patti LaBelle song at the end. I thought that was a nice way to end the movie. If you ask me to. I like Patti LaBelle anyway, so I'm kind of a bias there, but I did think that was a really good way to end off the movie. It was a nice song. Anything you want to mention?
Yeah, there was a sequence I wanted to talk about. The part where they're fighting Dario with the shredder.
Yes.
The shredder sequence.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good.
That was a really intense scene.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually, even though Bond's going to get out of it, but there was a moment where I was kind of fearing for his life a little bit.
How was he going to get out of there? Like, he was, like, down in there, like, about to
shredded.
To fall into the shredder.
Yeah, it's crazy. And even, like, when we talked about the Sanchez and Bond fight at the end, because, like, Bond got the piss beat out of him or whatever, and Sanchez had that machete to his head. I'm just like, how is he going to survive this and that? Yeah, the match thing. So it was like,
and then he was able to pull Benicio down into it.
Yeah, man, that was
brutal.
Really,
and then was that Pam that was just there with him? He was like yelling at her, like after he had after Dario got shredded. He's like yelling at her, "Turn the bloody thing off!"
Right.
That was great.
I think she was the one that started the shootout or whatever, because she was disguised as one of the laboratory people at the factory, I think, and they think that she's one of the people that started the shootout. So yeah, that was funny when Bob was like, "Turn the bloody thing off." That was cool. But overall, I think that's all I gotta say about all you gotta say.
Yeah, I think so. That ending sequence with Sanchez was great.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So overall, I really enjoyed this Bond film. It's very underrated. I do think it's ahead of its time. I know a lot of people don't talk about this, or when they do, they be like, I don't know about this one. No, this is one of the best ones. Timothy Dalton was great as always. The villain was great. Sanchez is one of the best Bond villains in my opinion. Pam, I thought was a really good Bond girl. Like the grit, I like the intensity, I like the whole revenge plot. I thought that was really good. I just wish there wasn't so many convenient points with the plot as far as MI6 and the disbanding and Felix being alive from a shark attack, and I didn't care about the whole love triangle subplot with Pam, Bond, and whatever her name is. I didn't care for her as a character. I really didn't. She was very bland. But yeah, and Benicio del Toro was good. Yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this. But I will say that License to Kill is greatness.
Yes, definitely greatness. That's what I'd give it.
Sweet. Well, that is our thoughts on License to Kill. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? Comment below and let us know. So we're already done with the Dalton films.
Yeah, I know. I'm sort of conflicted because Dalton was great, but I also love Brosnan. So it's like I would have liked to have seen more from Dalton,
Yeah.
but at the same time, Brosnan was also great. So.
Yeah. Honestly, I wish Dalton came in earlier so we won't have as many Roger Moore
Yeah, he
films.
could have taken a couple off of Roger's hands, you know?
Yeah. It was like, yeah, and Brosnan is my favorite Bond, so it's like bittersweet that Dalton had to go, but it's like I would have wanted 2 more from him.
Definitely.
But yeah, so the next time we're going to get into the Brosnan films finally. So the next one we'll be talking about is GoldenEye. So tune in for that when it comes out. If you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And hit that bell if you want to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. But that's all we have for you Bond fans. We'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
See you later.